keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stoppin'. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
What's up? Hey, what's up, Ned Pepper?
Here. All right, Nate, you ready to knock these cobwebs off?
Heck yeah, what's it been, like over a month?
I think at least.
Almost a month anyway.
We kind of went live before that we had a little bit of a break. We kind of came back and said, hey, we're back.
Yep.
We're season 2 now, guys.
Yeah, but we mentioned that
Yeah.
I was going to be traveling and we might not have a show for a while. Yeah.
Nate's been doing some kind of cool traveling and stuff, right?
Yeah, yep, traveling around, playing some poker. I was just in Texas. The introduction to your show really oversells it. No kidding. Yeah.
No argument.
We can't live up to that rap.
So how long, when you're traveling, what percent of the day are you playing poker?
Like 90% of the day.
Jeez.
I played poker basically nonstop for the last 3 weeks or whatever.
Is that exhausting?
All day, every day. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's exhausting, but I don't know. I fucking fall asleep from exhaustion from playing for like 30 hours straight or whatever, and then just start back again the next day.
Do you ever get to the point where it feels like a job? Like it's just a grind of, oh God, I gotta go back to the office today?
Not so much the last year.
Nice.
5 years ago, it felt kind of like a job, but the last year or two, it hasn't felt like a job.
Oh, nice.
So it's going well. And it was a good trip. I made some money. I chopped up some poker tournaments.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's good to be back, though. It's nice to be doing a show.
Geez, there's so much stuff that was happening. Like, God, we got to somehow do a show.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we're missed 99% of it, but we got some fun stuff today.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff to talk about. The Canadian trucker convoy thing, I think, is pretty cool.
Boy, it's crazy. I know we're just jumping right into it, but it's crazy to see the media, how they treat that compared to, like, the Antifa BLM riots.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so easy. Like, you send one guy through a crowd with a mask on with a Nazi flag or something, and then the media just has these pre-written stories of Nazis go and are against Canadian friendliness or
right.
whatever.
The Nazi truckers. Yeah. Trudeau called them Nazis. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. At the same time, we had BLM and Antifa like literally burning shit down.
Yep.
But the narrative is there, so they get the pass.
Yep. It's really fucking pisses me off, actually. And did you see? So there's a famous Canadian who they made a statue of him. I can't think his name right now. And the media said, evil trucker convoy defaces Canadian hero statue. But do you know what they did to the statue?
What?
They put a Canadian flag around it.
Jesus Christ.
And then the media said that they defaced it.
It's just kind of like
and
the
they had to
January
print
6th
a retraction.
thing.
Yeah.
Somebody gets shot that's a protester, and they act like, look at these protesters, it's deadly. The deadly insurrection.
Right. Killed by the
Capitol Hill killed somebody.
Killed by the agent in the government.
And do you remember
By the way, just real quick, that was a murder, and that guy just gets
absolutely.
away with it.
You remember the Virginia gubernatorial race? They did the same thing. They had some Democrats from to go down to Youngkin's bus and pose, basically dressed as the Tiki Torch, white supremacist stuff.
Yeah, we showed that.
And the media tried to run with it. But on the trucker thing, before we move on, did you see the political cartoon they did? I think it's Washington Post. They ran something, and they had like the trucks, and they had fascist written on it.
No, I didn't.
Meaning that like this like a fascist uprising. Like that's nothing to do with the definition of fascism. Fascism
they're actually anti-fascist.
Exactly. They're going against government overreach.
Right. The government's being fascist.
Basically, anything right now that's fascist is something that's against the left's narrative, which is just insane.
That's what they say. It's the same thing as them calling everyone racist.
Yeah.
And they are super racist.
They've lost. Racism is almost starting to lose its power now because you're racist for being born.
So is Nazi. So is Hitler.
Yeah.
They're ruining all their weapons. It's actually great.
So I think fascist is the new one that I think holds weight.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit weird to me that, so we had Trump, and that's what really made fascists kind of popular. Yeah. And now we have the most fascist government the U.S. has had, arguably ever. But let's not say ever, because World War II, they were putting Japanese descended people into internment camps.
Yeah.
But in modern U.S. history, this is the most fascist government.
For sure.
It's almost like they knew, like, all right, the next guy's going to be super fascist. He's on our side, so we've got to quick ruin that word.
You're right. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Let's muddy up the word before we go ahead and become super fascist. Yep. Okay, but let me show this clip. This is a Canadian Conservative leader puts final nail in Trudeau's coffin in Parliament in front of the whole world. It's only 30 seconds. You think that'd be his
final nail, but he's done blackface. He says more times than he remembers. He got caught doing that pay-to-play type of stuff.
Oh, but he's awful.
He's on the right. He's on the correct side, just like the whole Whoopi Goldberg thing. Can you imagine if like Joe Rogan or anybody said what she said? Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, I did. We could almost bring that up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think about all the things Biden has said. Can you imagine if Trump had said any of the racist shit Biden constantly says?
Even you go back right now, because he's on the correct narrative, Howard Stern is now all of a sudden like this hero to the left.
Is he a woke
Jimmy
hero?
Kimmel. Do they remember their past? Both of those guys?
Yeah,
but
no
if,
shit.
If you're on the left, you get this clear past, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because the left has no integrity, and Democrats are the worst.
Clutchers.
Yep. Okay, let's play this clip. It's only 30 seconds.
Mr. Speaker, and I apologize that minister is misleading Canadians. I do get very defensive of Canadians who are outside today, patriotic, peace-loving Canadians who are called misogynist and racist by the Prime Minister. So again, I will ask the Prime Minister, who, may I remind this House, wore blackface on more times than he can remember.
Yeah, he said that.
Apologize to the peace-loving, patriotic Canadians who are outside right now just asking to be heard. Will he speak to them?
He talked about as a fringe minority. There's video clips now of like cops cutting off people trying to get anywhere near there. Like farmers and stuff now are trying to join.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, dude.
I don't understand how Canadian elections work and stuff. Like, is this guy fucking Putin? Is he in power forever?
I don't know. I'm not sure how it works.
You remember early on in the pandemic, they basically agreed to not have any
election.
Any elections. Like, what the fuck is going on in Canada?
But then they had one, and he got elected again, which is horrible. These people suck so much. But you know what? All this shit, we're seeing kind of the peak and the fall of liberal power, and it's happening right now. I think they're done.
I think Biden was the last fucking shot. Yep. Wait till midterms. It's gonna be fucking. And then we talked about this. What do? They can't have Joe Biden run, but at the same time, they can't have him step down. They can't have Kamala be the vice president, but at the same time, they can't fire her now. I think they're going to have to just take the giant loss. They're going to lose the House, the Senate, the presidency.
They're going to lose all that. They're going to lose the media because the media is losing all its power.
Did you see CNN's down to like 90% down?
Yeah, I did.
So
I'll pull
just so
that
people
up.
understand, it's really kind of weird when numbers work. You lose 90% of your viewerships, and you get 90% back. You raise 90%. You are now nowhere near where you were before. Like 90%. You basically need to get 10 times your viewership to get back to where you were now.
Okay, this is January 13th, which is, what, 2 weeks ago.
I think they've talked about
CNN's ratings.
restructuring.
Say that again?
I think they're talking about restructuring. I think they're talking about getting rid of like Don Lemon and the potato and stuff, and going back to supposedly just doing
Potato.
the news.
Brian
Yeah.
Stelter. Ned Pepper says, no, while the left was screaming no foreign interference in elections, Obama was in Canada openly campaigning for his... That's funny.
Nobody
didn't know
does
that.
more election interference in the U.S. Like, it's not
Oh,
even close.
God, no kidding.
And now Biden's trying to pull us into this war with Ukraine. And even did you hear that Ukraine's basically even like, hey, you got to back off that rhetoric. That's not at all. We do not think that this is imminent, and Biden just won't quit.
Yeah, it seems to me like they're trying to make some kind of war happen. I'm not sure. But I just love that. I really do think the left is losing all of its power. And they're still super loud and fucking, they're still censoring shit.
We're seeing that pendulum, and it's going to swing way back. And I think a lot of it
It's
is
swinging
like,
hard.
there's one thing to tell people. Did you see that Penn State, or that swimmer, the female swimmer that's really a male? Did you see that now some of
the girls in the locker room were complaining?
Yeah, they're saying that like they're walking around with their penis out, and it's making other people uncomfortable. I think the average person, even the average Democrat, knows like, okay, I have to pretend like this is normal, but I know it's really not. And there's at the same time they're saying, hey, we're the party of science, and gender is so fluid that my 4-year-old tells me that it's a she. I think people know, like, no, that's not normal and healthy.
Yeah,
I think that's
terrible.
actually helping this too. And I think that when
it shows how
DNC,
insane they are on every fucking issue.
I think when the DNC, I think they overestimated. I think Coke was buying into this stuff too, and everyone else. And then they're on Twitter all day in their echo chambers, and they thought, you know what, we're just going to tell them that we're going to do a black and female vice president. And they didn't learn their lesson when Kamala's the most unpopular vice president ever. Now when there's the Supreme Court seat, they back themselves in the same corner. I don't know, but instead of it being the best candidate, we're going to make sure that it's a black female. It's like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, it's because they're so racist, dude. They're so fucking racist.
How about you just find the best person for the job? Because it's a very important job.
Nope.
If it happens to be a black female, great.
Yeah, nope. No, it has to be about identity politics. It needs to be a black, trans female with a disability who was born poor. And
we're going to talk about Joe Rogan later. But Joe Rogan's a Democrat. He's a Bernie Sanders supporting Democrat. But they're going so fucking silly and crazy. Now they're calling him alt-right.
They've done that to everyone. Yeah, they did it to Bill Maher. They did it to Eric Weinstein. They did it to, Jordan Peterson. He's not even alt-right. He's basically liberal. What would be called the old school kind of more rational liberal that doesn't exist anymore because they've gone so
Tim Pool's another
insane.
one.
Yeah.
But,
And
Bill Maher,
their insanity has isolated them and completely destroyed them, their whole party. So that's the best thing that's ever happened, actually, is how crazy they've gone. And now, as we go back to sanity, it's all going to work out great, and we'll never have to listen to dipshits like these two over here again,
Yeah.
I really think...
I suppose that's what CNN's doing. They had to get rid of these guys. They're going to just... Because trust is way down with CNN, of course. And
well, how great that these two virtue signaling dipshits both have sexual assault allegations against them now, They're always guilty of the things they rail against.
I read today only 2% of licensed attorney are black women. Yeah, how about just taking the best person for the job?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, let's say your kid gets cancer and it's pancreatic, and are you thinking, okay, I need to find the best any marginalized group. I need to find the best Hispanic doctor for this. Why wouldn't it be? I need to find the best doctor to save my kid because I love my kid so much. that I don't give a shit who it is. That's the way this should be looked at. This is a very important position. How about we find the best person for the position?
Yeah, it's because they're insane. That's why they do that. They're legitimately
Now-
racist and insane.
Now, whoever it is that gets nominated, I mean, what are they thinking? Oh, gee, thanks for nominating me for being black and female. How about you nominate me for my qualifications?
Yep. You know,
But boy, CNN and them, they are banking on this turning around the midterms. They are hoping this is a life raft for them.
dude, I was going to show this as maybe our play it out clip, but it applies so much to just the point that we're kind of making about how liberals just everything is identity politics. And we've seen a million examples of this, and this is hard to watch, okay? It's only a minute, but it seems like it's an hour long.
Good.
So
This might lead us into the Reddit stuff too. Just
yeah,
by looking.
it will. This guy's probably a Reddit mod. What's really ironic is that Biden blocked George W. Bush's black woman Supreme Court nomination. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Because as soon as a black person, it's just like a black person running for Congress and shit. They shit on those guys if they're conservative.
They're going to say, look, this is history. This is the first black woman Supreme Court nominee, even though it's not. It's not. Janice Rodriguez was the first, but media is going to tell people that this one was the first. They do that over and over.
Yeah. And they'll never give props to like a conservative black man running for mayor. They'll in fact they'll be racist towards him because they're racist. Okay, let's listen to this really smart guy.
Everything I say about gender is influenced by my whiteness, which is obvious, but there's an interesting second part to this. The rejections of gender and gender roles that I create and embody will still come from my whiteness, those acceptable to my constructions of self as a white person. I will likely uphold and encourage white beauty standards and see and more immediately accept other white rejections of gender. Essentially, even the most critical analysis of gender I have will still be white, and white gender rejection can and does uphold whiteness and white supremacy. Queer appropriation of African-American vernacular English is one example of this, as is mainstream exclusion of fashion excellence in black representations of masculinity, while celebrating white men for having basic hygiene as if they're revolutionaries. Of course, that's not to say we can't attempt to take in other viewpoints, but it's still going to be a fundamentally white perspective. Even this is a white perspective. It's literally the only one I can give you. So if you want to learn how other people construct and deconstruct gender, you need to learn it from someone who doesn't look like me. Everything I say about gender is influenced.
So you see that? Like he kind of says like I'm a white man, therefore my opinion is invalid.
Gosh, hey, Obi, hey guys. How many times do you think they check their likes right there? You think they're checking over and over, checking their @ mentions?
A million times. Yes.
It's unreal because they obviously
and he just wants someone
doing that. And it's fake. It's fake self-deprivation. Basically, they're saying like, don't listen to me. I'm an idiot because I'm white. What they're really meaning is, look how woke I am and how smart I am. I'm so smart.
Yeah, it's an amazing show of self-aggrandizing, self-deprecation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the whole time he's going like, look how great I am.
Look, I am. You listen to me.
So
You
virtuous.
listen to what I'm saying here.
Yeah. But don't give my opinion any credibility because I'm white. Obi and Nash. Didn't Trump have a black woman in the running too? Probably. Hey, you guys. What's up, guys?
And what is the next Supreme Court? Are they going to go through the same thing Kavanaugh did? You know, most Democrats still think Kavanaugh's a rapist.
I'm sure they
Even
do.
though, like,
it's convenient for them
all of those were shot down. Most of them were just straight up lying.
Yeah.
And the one says that she doesn't remember, but it probably had to have been.
Yeah, the biggest enemy of liberals is the truth, man. That's why they just willfully ignore it every time.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm sure you're right that most liberals still think of Kavanaugh as a rapist, even though he's definitely innocent of that. And that lady is a liar.
I think Bill Maher does a good job in his last one. I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff lately. The last one, just showing the silliness of the left right now and just how it's just all crashing down.
Yeah, look how silly this guy is, man.
I know.
Just silly and just ridiculous.
You know, let's get into it. Let's get into Reddit.
Okay.
Go to the anti-work subreddit. They've cleaned this up a bit, but basically anti-work is the perfect spot for 99% of Redditors. Basically, it's a subreddit for to be anti-capitalistic, and every employer's evil and every landlord's evil, and we shouldn't have to work. And now they've tried to kind of like clean it up a bit after this. But so the longest running moderator here, I think it was even maybe the founder of this. Like it's starting to blow up. You can look at how many people are joined to this, and I think they have over 1 million members. But
oh, really?
they got
1.7 million.
They got a interview request from Fox News, and they decided that they had the perfect person to send for the interview. The perfect person to represent them.
The most representative
not a
person.
cartoon character at all.
Let's see what Obi says here. It's sad any human being had to be put through that after a lifetime of accomplishment to be in that position, and it's always fucking loser leftists who have done nothing with their lives always pointing the finger.
It is terrible what they put Kavanaugh through, and there's still no apologies. There's nothing. In fact, they most people probably even know. Like there was like 9 women that came out. 8 of them eventually admitted to lying about it.
Yeah.
They just jumped on the bandwagon. And then one was that Blasey Ford or whatever, who says she doesn't remember him, doesn't know him, but it has to work out.
But didn't stop her from accusing him.
Yeah, she blacked it out, and it just worked out. It has to be him.
Right.
And they asked her friend, and her friend said no. They don't know each other.
Plus, she said indelible in the hippocampus is the memory of someone laughing. And when I heard her say that, I thought, this lady's insane. No one talks like that.
You know the Dunning-Kruger effect is?
What is that?
Go Google
I've heard
really
of that.
But it's basically anybody right now on the left. It's unbelievable.
A cognitive bias whereby people with limited knowledge or competence in a given intellectual or social domain greatly overestimate their own knowledge or competence.
They could rename Reddit the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
Everybody that goes there thinks that they're this. And that's
what this guy shows in the interview. Yeah.
It's like there's no way anybody that has got a 70 or above IQ says, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
This is a terrible idea.
Okay, so let's read this. People were contacting his kids, harassing them and threatening them, and not one Democrat denounced it. Instead, they encouraged it.
And they went and they took over basically just like the insurrection of January 6th. They did the same thing. They ran into like whatever representative building that was, and they're like, we're not leaving until Kavanaugh's thrown out.
Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about this anti-work thing. So
Left has gotten so evil.
Definitely. The
I
left
think
has
Nash
gotten
would
so
be really
evil.
interested in what we were talking about before the show.
Yeah.
It's just how, without getting too deep into that, getting to this, how satanic imagery and just Satanism and Antichrist stuff has forever been, like you look at Baphomet, the statues that put up, it's an androgynous male and female sex.
Yeah.
And now, like, unironically, the left is trying to turn themselves into a bunch of
right. There's so many signs
statues.
of the end times happening right now. You know.
Seriously, did the Bible predict that 2,000 years ago?
Yeah, it's really strange. And the left is just, I mean, look what they're doing to kids, man.
Yeah.
Who the
That's the most evil.
How could,
Leave the kids alone.
No shit.
They don't need to know about your kinks and your perversion.
Yeah. They want to sexualize children so badly. It's weird. We've
you
talked
know
about
there's
it on
some
several episodes.
Part of the left that like thinks that like it is a step up that a lot of kids haven't been exposed to this and still have their innocence. So now innocence is kind of like in that part of the left's mind is thought of as like a leg up. And so they're trying to level the playing field by taking away innocence of kids.
Yeah, well, they're evil as fuck.
Yes. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. So this anti-work thing. A Reddit mod went on Fox News. A Reddit mod of anti-work to espouse the beliefs of the anti-work community, okay? And he gave a great interview. Let's show it.
Million subscribers. Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why do you like
Pause
the
it real quick.
of
Kind of funny, like this is Jesse Waters. our last show. That's what we talked about. Remember?
I know. I'm very suspicious of Jesse Waters.
Are you really? You get
yeah.
that?
Mostly because of the last show where we showed him.
Oh.
I swear, I think the dude is like a hypnotist from the CIA. Like that's what I think of Jesse Waters now. I think Jesse Waters is probably in the intelligence community or something like that.
Oh man, Obi, you haven't seen this. I think you're in for a treat, my friend.
What the fuck is that? Laughing my fucking ass off. I don't know what you're referring to, Obi, but I'll tell you what. On the left here is Jesse Waters, and on the right is a beautiful woman
who started this anti-work revolution, who's totally not living in her grandma's basement, and totally has showered in the last COVID lockdown, and had her hair done.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
Home,
here we
not working, but still getting paid by corporate America.
Yeah. So there's some misconceptions about the movement. So we're a movement where we want to reduce the amount of work that people feel like they're forced to do. And so we want to still put in effort. We want to put in labor, but we don't want to necessarily be in a position where we feel trapped. You just quoted from Office Space, where that person feels very trapped in their job. I think we're calling for a society where there's less of that. But yeah, absolutely, people still want to do things. They just want to do things where they feel rewarded and they feel like they're in a good spot in their life, and that their job respects them and stuff like that. There's varying.
So Doreen, you're not being forced to work. This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment, and you can walk away from that job at any time and quit. So I don't understand really what this is about, except it sounds like maybe people are just being lazy. Are you encouraging people to be lazy?
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where people constantly want you to be productive 24/7, and it's good to have rest. That doesn't mean you should be resting all the time or not putting effort into things that you care about. But I think one of the
what do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal society?
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 20-25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And how?
So
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay. And is there something you want to do besides being a dog walker? Do you aspire to do anything more than dog walking, or is that kind of your pinnacle?
I love working with dogs. If I had to do this for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be super complaining. Dogs are wonderful animals. But I would love to teach. I would love to, work with people and stuff like that.
What would you teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly. Just introduction to philosophy, critical thinking, reason, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your class, Doreen. I would just be taking notes the whole time. And you know what? A professor's a very similar schedule than something that you're imagining. So I think that actually might work perfectly for you. Listen, I think this might not be the greatest idea, but who am I to judge? To each their own, they say. It's a free country.
Sure.
Not everything's free, but it is a free country. Thank you so much. Sure. We got to run. We got to pay.
Oh man, poor Doreen was so outmatched in that interview. You know what I mean?
This person took up the top poop. So you heard Doreen say that they worked 20 hours. Well, people are like, you lied. You said over and over you work about an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
So it's nowhere near what they're saying.
No, I'm sure he was lying the whole fucking interview.
Yeah.
But he was going up against a CIA hypnotist, so he was in big trouble before it started. Wow. Anyway, so that interview killed the sub.
Oh man, it went crazy. And it's funny because the whole point of the sub is kind of like, we don't need leaders, and I spoke up at work and told them what they're doing wrong, and I got fired. So then people ran to the sub going, holy cow, Doreen did a terrible job. And they were just getting banned over and over.
Yeah.
Doreen came and like had fake accounts and tried to stick up, but kept using me instead of her, saying like, well, I had a long day. Give me a break. Everyone's like, me? What are you saying there, Doreen?
That's awesome. Yeah, so he was making fake accounts and kept screwing up and getting cut.
Yeah.
Now, I want to point out, funnily enough, a lot more things came out about Doreen, that he'd been accused of being a serial rapist,
so there's
and he admitted to it.
So like some dogs, I tried to find this, but got deleted too, but some dogs woke him up that he was babysitting, and he tried to punish the dogs by not giving them water.
Oh yeah, he was like torturing the dogs.
Yeah,
too.
so he's like torturing the dogs.
He wouldn't give them water.
Something like that, yeah. And then
Jesus,
multiple rape accusations.
Right, and like
we have one here where he admits to it, and poor Doreen got PTSD from raping his roommate. Yeah.
Okay, we'll show that, but let's read these comments.
Yeah.
Let's see. I a fucking dog walker. Does this person pick up the dog poop or just leave it there?
See,
and that's a funny comment because I'll bet he is a terrible dog walker. We already know that he admitted to torturing them and not giving them water.
Unless he smells or eats the poop,
he just leaves it there. Yeah. Okay, Ned Pepper says, people like this give me hopes for my children. I'd like to think my kids will have a work ethic just to shit all over them. My only fear is that these people will rig the system to where they legally steal from my kids. Ned Pepper, they already do that to us. I thought you were going to say he had a peanut butter party and raped the dogs. Yeah, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if that came out.
We got some weird shit coming up. It gets weird. We're just scratching the surface here.
Okay, so now we'll show the stuff where he admits. Okay, here's him like admitting to raping.
So
someone.
this is first somebody accused Doreen of rape, and then goes into a past part of his life where they did not respect some of his boundaries.
So this is on Facebook, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So do we read this? I mean, it is a little long, but it's pretty interesting to read.
Go ahead, Ryan. You want to read it?
The person accusing me of serial rape and I were involved in sexual conduct. The serial involved alcohol on their part, but I had been informed that it wasn't a big deal. They were tipsy, blah, blah, blah. But he goes into, I could take consent very seriously. I have a list of behaviors related to cuddling that I've been using for over a year.
I'm confused by that. I haven't read all this, but I read the first little post here. And what does he mean? I have a list of behaviors related to cuddling that I've been using for over a year. What does that mean?
Who's cuddling? You think like there's people lining up to cuddle Doreen after the long day of dog walking?
I guess, man. Really drunk people who he lures into his bed and rapes.
After
model citizen.
After
Nichols.
After all the showers and combed hair. That's a funny interview because he's not looking at the camera and just doing this. You can see in the background, it's obviously his grandma's basement.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And he's completely unprepared for any question.
Right away. Like people are like, what the fuck, Doreen? Doreen's kind of like, well, I don't know why he's getting mad at me. I didn't have much energy, and I thought I was going to have enough energy to do the show, but it took it out of me. How about that?
That is funny how bad that interview went.
Yes, yeah. So then this came to that. I'll read the rest here where it actually gets into like specifics. This is Doreen admitting this. This is a separate post here. I wrote this a long while ago. In this case, the situation ever happened, and sadly, here it is. I strive to be open and honest. Those who are close to me can verify that I exude these qualities more than any other.
Yeah.
It's in that spirit that I make public certain past events within my life. If you feel as though you may not be able to deal with heavy content right now, I recommend this post.
Trigger warning. Thanks for the trigger warning, Doreen.
So funny because Doreen basically rapes this person. And it tries to turn Doreen into the
victim.
Into the victim here.
Well, raping someone's very traumatic for the rapist, Garrett. That's how insane the left is.
This person basically started this this is the caricature. When the boomer Republican that pull yourself up by the bootstraps. This is the person they're drawing a picture of.
Yeah, that's who they think of.
About the left.
Yeah.
Like, really,
it's
when
perfect.
Trump runs, he needs to just have that interview ran just on, on the loops.
This is who the left is. Yeah, man. Really.
And you know who this really is for sure is Reddit moderators. We're going to talk about that too, because we've talked about Reddit. We're like part 3 or 4 of Reddit's pedo problem here.
And sexual rapist problem.
I want to discuss a history I have with someone that I used to know. This was a person with whom I had an ongoing sexual relationship and living arrangement. Eventually, a mix of fundamentally incompatible needs, past trauma, unrelated to me, and my issues with the impulsive control resulted in a very unhealthy dynamic between us. Due to my dislike of call-out culture, this person will remain anonymous. Pretty nice of Doreen to not call out the person that Doreen raped.
Don't name your rape victim, Doreen. That's very kind of you.
Let's do that. His or hers or whatever's dislike of call-out culture.
Wow.
Anyone who knows who this is advised against contacting this person. This individual had past trauma from previous relationships. You bragging? Stop bragging, Doreen. It caused emotional and physical distance between us over the course of months. This led to my needs going unmet, which led to masturbation as an unhealthy coping mechanism.
What? Man, maybe this guy is too honest.
Can you imagine reading this on Facebook? 40% of Facebook now is just grandmas sharing pictures and bragging about their grandkids.
Yeah.
Doreen's grandma's thinking, what in the fuck?
Doreen's grandma probably commented.
So proud of you, Doreen.
So proud of you. Keep up the good work.
After months of trying to keep myself in check, I began sporadically masturbating while they slept next to me or by themselves.
What the fuck?
Even though they stated this made them feel uncomfortable. These events continued to happen until I sought help through therapy.
Wow.
God damn it. I can't click. I don't know why this poor person that, man, who is this? What does this other person look like?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
Oh, God. I had woken up one morning with them laying next to me and remembering they felt uncomfortable with me masturbating next to them while they slept. I placed their hand over my boxers.
Oh, so this is the step. This is the step up from masturbating. Now you're going to use their hand. So,
they moved their hand away, and I thought nothing at what happened and fell back asleep. They later woke up and mentioned to me if they had a nightmare involving, I can't read that word, those series of events. I admitted that it happened, apologized, and explained that I was half asleep and was not in full control of my actions.
The old, I accidentally raped. I was sleep raping you.
Poor Doreen. Yeah. Lastly, the previously mentioned coping mechanism resulted in, God damn, we gotta break this down. The previously mentioned coping mechanism. So what's coping mechanism they're talking about here?
I have no idea.
Is it Doreen's coping mechanism of this person not being physical enough as Doreen masturbating next to him? Is that what he's talking about?
So we wouldn't fall asleep together. I'm not sure which.
So lastly, the previously mentioned coping mechanism resulted in this person creating alarms for us so we wouldn't fall asleep together. And thus, boundary violations would be minimized. Much to my retrospective disgust, my desperation for emotional intimacy led me to shut off the alarms at various points.
Boy, these two people have a weird relationship.
Yeah, no, shit. Get out of there. Quit being raped by this guy. What are you doing?
Was this meant to be an erotic story? So bad. Next thing, we will have masturbation centers on college campuses for coping liberals. Yeah, no shit.
Doreen's just bragging about getting laid here. All right, much to my retrospective Doreen's writing this going,
I'm a genius.
I'm across smart.
Yeah. I'm writing this. I'm a great writer.
Much to my disgust. No, nay. My retrospective disgust. Yes, that's better. Much to my retrospective disgust.
Yeah.
When I learned how much these harmed this person, I soon after went to therapy.
I soon after went to therapy.
Thereafter, I was able to cope with my impulsive tendency and thus constantly respect their boundaries.
Consistently. Wow. Does that throw in that, like,
What a
well,
hero.
once or twice that's what it's
like.
I still violated it.
I am respectful of this person almost every time.
Yeah. That's what he's saying there.
Oh, God. Resulting from my remorse, I made a financial contribution to an organization dedicated to helping people in alternative but abusive relationships.
Oh, then that's all
How much do you think this financial contribution was?
$15.
How good does dog walking pay?
$15, $10 probably.
And what does that do? So he's like, hey,
It absolves him of his crimes.
I'm sorry I raped you, but don't worry, I gave money to this organization.
I donated money in your name to a rape victim center.
I get it. Oh, God. There was discussion between me and this individual of helping with therapy costs. However, given my economic status and their insurance coverage, we decided against it. So
Doreen was like, pay for my therapy.
This person needs therapy for getting raped by Doreen, but Doreen could afford therapy for Doreen, but not for the person they raped. But Doreen's got some extra cash laying around to donate it to a cause.
This is a crazy...
unrelated to what's happening here and does not help this person at all. Does zero help for this person.
No, but it helps to make them look like a hero who's learned their lesson about raping people.
As well, I've used that unhealthy dynamic as a way to improve myself. My relationships since this one have been healthy and mutual beneficial as a result.
Doubt it. Healthy, doubt it.
This is bad.
A donation is made to the Human Fund in your name. What's that off of? I know that's a quote from something, but... Okay, here we go.
All right.
Wait, hang on.
Over, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this is bad.
This is a hilarious thing to read. I can't believe this shit.
This is where it starts to get it. These events have led me to suffer several symptoms of PTSD. So really, nothing happened to this person. This person raped somebody.
Okay, yeah.
Won't pay for their therapy, but going to their own, and is saying it gave them PTSD. He gave himself PTSD by raping somebody.
Yeah. Yep.
Sporadic suicidal ideation and self-esteem loss.
I've done my best to heal.
By privately talking to multiple friends about this, I think I need to do more than that. How about helping the person you raped heal?
Yeah. How about stop raping people?
This is just about you and you.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, I have striven to be a respectful and compassionate person. That means when others are clear about their boundaries, I shut off the alarm.
Yeah. I take their hand and put it on my dick.
I don't quit masturbating over them when they're trying to sleep.
I almost always not masturbate after like years of raping them.
I want to be sensitive to and respect of them. I gotta reread this sentence. That means that when others are clear about their boundaries, I want to be sensitive to and respectful of them. And that if I ever discover after the fact that I violated someone's boundaries, I want to apologize and make amends by giving $15 to a charity of my choice.
Sorry about that time I raped you.
I'm not going to pay for your therapy, but I will give money to a charity of my choice.
I'm super compassionate person, so that was a real fluke when I raped you those 10 times.
Even so, in this case, and in the context of an ongoing sexual relationship, look, Doreen's trying to give himself so many outs by saying, this is just mutual sex.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I engage in behavior that, because of this person's history, this has nothing to do with the person's history.
Right.
Just because the person's been raped before doesn't mean you're not raping them now.
Yeah, exactly.
Obi says he wants to see their liberal friend's response. There's a good one there.
Oh, that would be. You know what? I'll bet there are a bunch of comments that are like, "You're so brave, Doreen. Thank you, Doreen." I'll bet there are.
We'll go.
I can see it. Okay. Holy shit.
What? We're not gonna think people can see it, but we'll get to it. Even so, okay, did we read this one yet? Okay, even so, in this case, in the context of an ongoing sexual relationship, I engaged in behavior that, because of this person's history, pushed very sensitive buttons related to the prior trauma. I am embarrassed and regretful that even after learning how much it harmed them, I still engaged in it after the fact.
Yeah, sorry that I continued to rape them, even though I knew.
Unreal. Obviously, normal people don't do this. And if they do, they don't make a public post about it, painting themselves as the victim.
Yep. But
I do not
liberals,
know.
woke liberals do. They do this kind of weird thing.
I do not know what coming forward with this information will do, but I hope everyone can still trust me to do what is right and hold myself responsible and accountable when I make mistakes. As well, I hope people realize that oh damn, we can't even see it, can we? The only comments I'll be accepted on this thread are clarifying questions and constructive criticisms that are coming from a good and supportive place. Shaming me in an attempt to show that my actions were wrong is both unproductive and unnecessary, as I'm well aware of my actions and their lack of morality. I am sorry for any harm this information causes those close to me. I am not sorry for raping this person. I'm sorry for any harm this information causes those close to me.
Right, and if you read all that, then hopefully you see that I am a super virtuous person and a victim. Trust me, guys. I think this post just incriminated you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it did. They should go arrest this guy.
For sure.
Well, let's see what the comments say here, Garrett. What do his friends have to say after this?
I love you, and I think you're a very wonderful person. Who is this person running around with? Whoever this is. Their friends, like, fucking their other friends, when they get together for poker nights, like Hitler and Mao. And
yeah, no shit. And Doreen sitting there.
I think you're a wonderful person.
I want to see this blacked out red paragraph.
I know.
That's probably the real paragraph right there. It says like, "Hey, you should be in jail. I'm calling the cops."
God, that just shows this unhealthy mindset here.
Yes, and extremely.
This person accused me of serial rape, and they were exactly right.
And here's why they were right.
They were drunk, but they told me they were drunk.
My new saying is now, "What the fuck, Doreen?"
So
brave. We love you. So brave, Doreen. How about that? That was a fun rabbit hole right there.
I know. So you take the most liberal part of the liberal website, and it just happens to be that the one dart they throw is this rapist Doreen.
Yeah.
Who lives in their grandma's basement and hasn't showered since before the pandemic. That's just coincidence, right?
You would think so, except that it happens every time a Redditor comes out of their cave.
Or any time that a Kenosha kid shoots a bullet in a crowd. He hits three fucking rapists, and two of them are pedophiles.
Right. Anytime someone's defending their life from leftist mobs, they hit three pedos.
Google Amy Challoner. This is the moderator that got upgraded from moderator to admin. Got hired.
Yeah.
Look at that picture. Go to images. This is the Amy Challoner whose dad was a pedo that raped kids while Amy Challoner lived there and didn't say anything, and then moved to the United States and married a guy who writes erotic porn of young kids and posts it all over the internet.
Right. And this person,
this is who they want to upgrade from moderator and to put them on the payroll.
Yeah, she was like, I'm sorry, he was like a fucking hired by Reddit.
Sorry.
I'm done saying she, man. I'm done with it. Look, one thing's for sure. This is a beautiful female woman. That's definitely the only thing I know. Anyway, Reddit hired this dude, and and tried to give him fucking a bunch of money. And this was a mod, and he was a trans rapist
and they
too.
tried to hide this. They tried to ban anyone that pointed out that it's a pedophile enabler and probably a pedophile until it just got to be too big. And then they did the whole, oh, we're sorry, we didn't know, but we really did. But now that it blew up in our faces. And the most powerful user of Reddit, I got to point out, is Ghislaine Maxwell. She was the most popular, not most popular, the most powerful Reddit user in history. So, I mean, there's 3 for 3 right there.
Yeah.
So anti-work Reddit went crazy. And then they went dark. They shut it all down for a while. And they reopened it. And the head mod now was somebody by the name of like Kamikuzi. No, do you want? I'm getting ahead of myself. One of the top ones was like White Pirate.
Okay.
And everyone started saying like, what's going on here? And they wrote this big long thing about how going forward, one, we will not ever accept interview requests from right-wing media.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Like, wait a minute. He did nothing. You hung yourself. He just asked questions and laughed at you. And they had other stuff they were going to do. And the moderators started deleting their post history. I was like, what's going on? Why is this? Well, people went and found this White Pirate was one of the head mods in after this. And look at these comments that the new head of anti-work Reddit did.
Yeah, so this is the mod to replace Doreen after the sexual assault got him fired, and the new guy is this.
There's a bunch of these, but he writes, I'm new to this whole incest thing, but I can't imagine walking around my parents having sex, even with other people, let alone them walking in on me.
Okay.
Go to the next ones, too, because all those I sent you are the same person. And the next one is, this is an article of women arrested for shooting at teen for attempting to rape dog. I wonder if Doreen's all right. This new mod says, why did they arrest the kid for bestiality? That really shouldn't be a crime. Let people do whatever they want when it comes to sex.
Holy shit. So the new mod of anti-work thinks it's okay to rape animals.
Yeah, it says.
Jesus. That shouldn't be lost on people. Doreen is the leader of an anti-capitalist movement that doesn't want to force anything on anyone unless it's Doreen's penis. Doreen would never force her views on anyone, but she will force her penis on anyone who happens to fall asleep next to her.
On people.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Okay.
All right, here's another one. I will give you it's an interesting idea. I'm not sure how it would be implemented, though. Would children be equal to adults in every way from the moment of birth? Or would you just lower the age of maturity by a lot? Also, do you have any evidence that pedophilia is not natural?
So the new mod supports raping dogs and raping children.
Yeah.
Is every Reddit mod a pedo fucking...
Well, we're now 4 for 4. If we're counting... Maxwell, Challoner, Doreen, this person.
Yep.
So then the sub was wrestled from this person again, and somebody by the name of like Kamikuzi or something like that took over. Kamikuzi, they basically said like, "Oh, guys, just so you guys know, I did about 7 different interviews recently that are going to be coming out." Because everyone's like, what's next? Are there any other interviews? And this Kamikuzi's like, yeah, actually I've done about 7 of these. And like, who are you? So, well, I'm 18. I am a anti-capitalist. I have been unemployed most of my life. Or no, long-term. I said, I'm a long-term unemployed. Everyone's like, you're 18. You're long-term nothing.
No shit. You
so
just
they lost on this person too. Yeah.
I want to see those interviews too.
I can't wait. They're supposedly coming out soon. The new mod team, so try number 4, has like reached out to them to try to stop them from getting released.
Yep. Why haven't the liberals hated on him for being a white pirate? Reddit is evil. Facebook is evil. Google is evil. Twitter is evil. YouTube is evil. I agree with that. I agree with that strongly. And I can't wait till we're out from under the thumb of these fucking social media companies.
We talked
Doreen
last time.
isn't evil though. Just
last time, but you have puts on Twitter right now, don't you?
No, I don't. I had puts on Netflix, which I lost money on because.
Which you wouldn't have if you had them pushed out long enough.
Yeah.
Twitter's tanking. Netflix is tanking. God, we haven't talked about I think we're in the beginnings of the crash, and nobody really knows it yet. Like everything's tanking right now.
And inflation is skyrocketing and everything's
so,
tanking.
So you can say like, well, S&P's up 10% this year. Well,
yeah, they printed
not really
30% of the money.
Yeah, up 8%. Yeah. So we're talking 2% a year, which is terrible.
Yeah. Also, real quick, here's White Pirate advocating for people to kill themselves. So these Reddit mods are pretty big pieces of shit. Doesn't get much worse.
Basically, yeah. I wish you luck with your attempt. Basically pushing people to.
Yeah, tells them it's brave. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna close these now.
Yeah.
Let's show the stocks tanking.
Let's do it. Do you know what? Pull up. So I think everyone is aware. People are after Spotify now because Rogan dares to talk about COVID and the insanity of it. Go to the news. Pull up that news of put Spotify value. Just Google that quick if you haven't already.
Okay, Spotify value.
Yeah, I'm doing a new one. So this is what our fucking media does. Watch this. Look at this. Top stories. Spotify loses more than $2 billion in market value following Joe Rogan. Spotify loses $2 billion as stock plummets after Neil Young. You're looking at this going, oh shit, the Spotify better start listening because the stock market hates the shareholders hate this. They hate this.
So the media is kind of saying like Joe Rogan is and Spotify is losing money because of Joe Rogan.
Give me a date on one of those. Give me a date on that.
3 days ago.
3 days. So what they're doing with that, pull up Spotify's stock chart. God, this makes me mad. Hit 5 days right there. What they're doing, look at this. 5 days ago, Spotify was lower than it is by 7%. So why aren't they now running stories saying Spotify is up $10 billion after not giving in to the demands of Neil Young?
Yeah, you're right. I see what you mean.
Because it doesn't fit the narrative. Look what they did there.
Yeah.
They picked the day because the markets are fucking dropping right now. Big time.
Yeah.
So they ignored it. Pull up Tesla. Pull up Tesla quick. Why aren't they saying Tesla loses $1 trillion because of Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Tesla's down more, and it came at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Pull up Netflix. I see you have Netflix there. Look at Netflix is down even more. Netflix is down way more in the month.
Yeah.
You'll go back to Spotify quick too.
Oops.
Go to stock. Click a month. This is before.
Oh yeah, way before any of that shit
came out. They're down 16.6%. They fell 2% because the market fell, and it since has rebounded higher than when they ran these stories. But not one single piece of media has the integrity to point that out.
Right. Instead, they use it to push the lies of the left, man.
This is how the media
fake news
talked the American people into going to a war with Iraq. This is how the American people talk people into not leaving their houses in COVID and letting millions of kids die of hunger.
Right. It's how they do statistics. Yeah.
Speaking of, go Google for me real quick, ivermectin. Because doctors have been getting their license taken for prescribing ivermectin. Go to news stories. Ivermectin shows antiviral effect against COVID. This is a phase 3 trial. Doctors are getting basically thrown in jail in the U.S.
Right.
Because they are given early treatment to COVID that absolutely works.
Yep. Censored, lost their license, weren't allowed to prescribe life-saving medication.
They pushed this idea that ivermectin is horse paste.
Yep.
They've completely ignored that ivermectin has almost no side effects, none very dangerous, and it's saved billions of people's lives.
Yep.
They've ignored that.
Think how many people are dead because of Pfizer and Bayer and the left and leftist fucking congressmen.
They are killing people to push people towards a product from a giant corporation that we know has lied and killed people in the past.
Yeah, super evil, always lying.
Now the left is super big business and super big corporation. And 50% of them believe you should be thrown in jail for not taking a product of theirs over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy how justified my opinions have been every fucking step of the way during this crazy
That's the thing.
shit.
You put up Joe Rogan's batting average against Fauci's, he's fucking crushing Fauci.
Oh, yeah. He's crushing CNN.
Yep.
You know,
media also pushed that it's racist to question the origins of this virus.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much the media's pushed on us.
They've been wrong about everything every time, dude.
They're pushing that Spotify because they're not censoring this guy for talking. They're pushing the narrative that the stock is plummeting, even though it's higher. It's higher now than before Neil Young pulled his shitty music off of it.
Yeah, no shit. When I heard Neil Young's music wasn't on there anymore, I thought, oh, good, there's less shitty music on Spotify.
Yeah, hopefully it never plays in any of my fucking playlists on accident.
Yep. So disturbing that the news is willing to push these narratives and avoid truth.
It really is.
It is. It's weird. We've said it before, but it's strange to me that all of these companies are so leftist and evil and fucking liars.
You know, the funny thing about Google is they used to have in their mission statement, do no evil, and they took that out. Which I think people know.
Yeah.
God, Nesh pulls up I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Nesh asked what Google stock is doing.
So here's the fucking thing about Google. Yeah, I mean, tech stocks. I mean,
it dropped a bunch too.
We're starting to see
that.
Do you know they dropped because Spotify didn't cave to Joe Rogan? That's why it dropped.
That's right. Yeah.
They lost 5%, and that's a much bigger company. So Spotify only lost $2 billion. Well, Google's lost $100 billion then.
Right.
But Nash brings up a good point there. He said, "What's Google and YouTube's value?" Here's the fucking bad thing about YouTube. YouTube is the worst of it all. And people say, "Well, if you don't like it, if you don't like being censored and your videos yanked for no reason, being demonetized, and your family not being able to eat, if you don't like it, start your own." Here's the bad thing: Google is a giant company, and they take losses on YouTube every year.
Yeah.
They bought YouTube, and they lose money every year on it.
Yep.
So it's hard to compete with this giant company that's got infinite money, essentially.
Yeah. You know, you told me that a couple months ago, or I think on one of our last shows, you talked about how much money YouTube loses. Yeah. And that surprised me so much. I had a wrong conception about that.
And, you know, my stats in that might be old. I know that's the way it was or whatever, but I don't think YouTube makes any money.
I think you're probably right. It's probably a huge loss, but they
it
control the narrative with it, which is why they had to get rid of the dislike
I think
button.
That's why they're doing it.
Oh, it is.
They're saying like, well, we're taking this loss, but at least we could control the narrative, and that's priceless.
Yeah, it is. They need control of the narrative, and they're losing it in giant ways right now, which is great.
The governor races was a bit of a wake up, but I think these people truly like feel immortal when it comes to this. The midterms are going to be a huge wake up. Yeah. You know, the narrative's already being written. That they're going to try saying too is like, well, what do you guys expect Biden to do? The Republicans are blocking everything, and they have the House, and they have the Senate, and they have the Supreme Court, and they're going to try turning that into it. They're going to try saying like, you know, it's really bad right now. Inflation's at 50%, and you guys haven't left your houses, but really the Republicans are in control. That's what they're going to try selling people.
You're right. They are. They're going to blame the Republicans for the lockdowns and shit because it's going to become so obvious what a disaster that was.
It's offering for that's
there you go. That's a great way to say that, Nash.
It really is.
It's not operating for profit. It's operating for propaganda.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some of these comments. They are pushing the markets down to save the hedge funds and market makers who have already lost billions and are so over leveraged. It's criminal.
Man, watch this.
That's GM.
Type in stock market and puts. There's never been a market in the history of markets of humanity knows. There is more puts right now. Hit news, maybe. But anyway, there's more puts taken out in the stock market right now than ever before. It's something like $1 trillion a day or some shit is being hedged with puts, basically.
Here you go. Investors have put more money into stocks in the last 5 months. Stock prices plummeting. I'm sure you're right.
Yeah. I'll be able to find it for next
We'd have to go on DuckDuckGo. Google's probably fucking hiding it.
But there's more puts being bought right now than ever before in any market ever. And it's a ton. And it's rising very quickly.
It makes me want to bet against the market.
I know.
We've been predicting a crash for a while now. It looks like it might be happening right now.
I know, unfortunately. You know what I think happened? I think think Biden gave that last presidential fucking whatever, like on his year, and I think people really saw like, oh fuck, the emperor has no clothes. Like this fucking
Oh,
guy.
fuck, he has dementia. Yeah.
He's got no idea what he's doing. We're fucked. I think people still have held on to the idea that he's going to go and get Build Back Better passed and this and that. I think people saw this old stumbling fool and thought we're in trouble.
Yeah, shitting his pants on stage.
Yeah.
Hope they can someday sue the licensing boards, etc. No shit. There needs to be such huge overhauls in the system and like every aspect of it. Yeah. They are killing us before they send out the robots or fake aliens, I guess.
God, there's more Project Bluebeam shit. We got to do that one.
Wait, is that the Simpsons couch? Yeah, it is. I think. Maybe it's a Family Guy couch. It's either Family Guy or Simpsons.
Don't think it's Simpsons, but
yeah, this must be Family Guy. I've got the Simpsons background too in a different picture.
Well, Nate, we've been over an hour. So
wow, that was a fast
next?
hour.
Yeah, it was.
Like next week. Yeah.
What day?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Well, we can always do
I'm going to
Thursday.
do another tournament series. Yep. We'll probably be back on Thursday, but that might be the last show for like another month.
You just got to go and take your winnings and buy a laptop, something more portable for you.
It's not the laptop that's a problem. It's the internet.
Like, that'd be easy.
You think so?
Go park next to a hotel. Yeah, that'll be easy.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was another fun show.
Seeing everybody again.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. It was fun. I think it was a funny
glad
show.
You guys found us.
Nate, that's what my wife tells me when I tell her I'll last an hour. Thanks, guys. Hey, thanks everybody.
Yep, that was awesome.
Hopefully we'll be back Thursday.
Yep.
Anyway, keep it real.
Yep. See you guys.
Peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.